How to save money by cutting home buying and selling costs in 2025. Today, many financial factors are reshaping the housing market. Rising housing costs and the growing affordability gap will necessitate new innovative solutions for many to achieve homeownership. The new financial models have already taken shape, such as fractional ownership and rent-to-own programs. They've emerged as a way to make homeownership more accessible. Also, the growing role of technology to facilitate transactions between a buyer and a seller, as well as real estate financing, such as blockchain and smart contracts, will continue to expand to cut costs for both buyers and sellers in the future. And in the quest to make homeownership more affordable, the Biden administration has recently called some of the housing-related costs junk fees. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says junk fees are driving up housing costs, and we'll address this publication later in the video. And what I'm about to tell you may not be popular with real estate agents, loan officers, and title companies that are not willing to negotiate on their fees. But newsflash for everyone. Housing is way unaffordable for most wannabe homeowners, period. The end. Now, I've been serving the housing market in one way or another since 1989, and I have never experienced a housing market quite like this before. If you're someone who can afford a home today, you should consider yourself blessed. But I'm sure even if you are able to pay the higher cost today, you don't like it. Or maybe you do like paying higher property taxes, higher property insurance premiums, and paying more for the high cost of home repairs and maintenance. But quite honestly, I have yet to hear someone say, I absolutely love spending more of my money on these things. It's just great. Nobody seems happy that today's housing-related costs are gobbling up more of their hard-earned income than ever before. So let's talk about how you can save money when you're buying or selling your home. If you're a seller, this may be helpful as buyers may need you to cut your costs, needing to entice someone financially to buy your home. So hey guys, before we go any further, if you're new to the channel, my name's Todd Sachs. I'm a Maryland real estate broker, and my job is to keep you informed about the real estate market. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, it may be a great time to do so now and hit that alert bell so that you know every time I publish important information like this. So where do we start with money-saving tips? Well, first, buyers and sellers both should be negotiating your commissions with your realtors. As of August 17th of 2024, buyers in all 50 states plus the District of Columbia must sign a written contract if they want to be represented by a buyer's agent. Buyers are responsible to pay their agents fees, regardless of whether the seller or listing agents are offering any compensation to offset these fees. Simply said, the contract that you now must sign with your buyer agent must clearly state your agent's fees. So buyers and sellers should both be shopping around, interviewing agents to see what they're charging and what they're going to do for the fees. But be smart. Make sure that you're comparing apples to apples, service for service. And sellers, don't fall for the phrase, I'm worth it because I can get you more money. Many sellers hire their listing agent because the agent tells them a higher suggested listing price. And then the sellers are upset later when the agent tells them to drop the price after no takers in just 2 short weeks. But homebuyers, now since August 17th that the sellers or listing agent may not be offering any compensation to offset your agent's fees, let me suggest how you may negotiate with your buyer's agent. Now, let's say you come to me, for example, and I say, buyer, I would love to help you buy a home. I want to be your agent. You should ask me, well, Todd, what are your fees? And let's say that I tell you, well, buyer, I charge 3%, for example, and you're looking at a $550,000 home. That's $16,500. And you may say, whoa, that is a lot of money. And I may say to you, well, we'll try and get the seller or the seller's broker to pay it. But you may ask yourself, even if the seller or the seller's agent is offering some type of buyer agent reimbursement or concessions, is this money something I could possibly negotiate with the seller to reduce the price that I'm paying for the home? Maybe if I didn't have an agent? Or maybe you should ask yourself, might I lose out on homes where no compensation is being offered by the seller or the listing broker to help me pay for some or all of my agent's fees? So here's where it may be a good time for you to try and negotiate with me to see if I'd be willing to help you for, let's say, 2% or even less, maybe like 1%. In the scenario that I gave you with the $550,000 home, just dropping my commission by 1 percentage point would save you $5,500. And if I did it for 1%, you'd save $11,000. Look, it's my opinion that you need a great agent to help you. So I'm not saying that you should navigate this home buying or selling process on your own. But what I am telling you is that you should be having conversations with your prospective agents who you interview. Lay down your expectations. What are you willing to do in the home search process? And what are you expecting your agent to do? This way you can establish a fair fee agreement between you and your agent. This brings me to the next money-saving tip. Remember that consumerfinance.gov article I mentioned in the very beginning of this video? Well, here it is. Let's take a look at it together. It says that families who manage to save up for a down payment and get approved for a mortgage often get an unwelcome surprise: closing costs that all too often are full of junk fees. Closing costs are the fees you pay on the day you finalize your purchase of your home. They include things like title insurance, credit report and appraisal fees, origination fees, and more. It goes on to say that from 2021 to 2022, median total loan costs rose sharply, increasing by 21.8% on home purchase loans. In 2022, the median amount paid by borrowers was nearly $6,000 in these costs and fees. Lenders sometimes give borrowers a credit to cover closing costs, but then charge a borrower a higher interest rate on the mortgage. Well, that just means that borrowers pay way more when you consider the interest charges on these buried fees. So when you're talking to potential loan officers or lenders, including the ones at your local bank branch or credit unions, ask them for a breakdown of all fees charged. Shop them with other lenders and negotiate. Unfortunately, most home buyers only look at the interest rate of the loan, and it's not just the mortgage interest rate, it's also the loan fees and closing costs that you have to pay when you're buying a home. Now, from the article that I just read, it discussed title fees, and the lender doesn't decide these fees, they estimate them. But when selecting a title company, you need to also ask them what their fees are, and they should be able to negotiate with you as well. Also ask the title company what the premium for title insurance will be. Title insurance is expensive, and this type of insurance is an added closing cost that you have to pay for in order to buy your home. And the title company gets to keep the bulk of the money this policy costs you, so ask them if there's any wiggle room on the policy cost. Now, as far as title insurance goes, there are lots of opinions as to whether title policies are necessary. And some say that they are a complete waste of money or a very expensive policy for the risk. Now, I'm not going to comment to this, but you need to weigh out your options. And I know that there are typically two types of title policies. One is the lender policy and one is what's called the owner's policy. And until recently, if you obtain a mortgage to buy your home, the lenders required at least the lender's policy as they want to protect their interest for the amount of money that they've lent you. I interviewed an attorney a few months back who said that most lenders, if not all of them, will now accept what's called an attorney opinion letter in lieu of a title policy. This typically costs home buyers much less than a title policy would. If you're interested in learning more about this, the link to the video is in the show notes below. And more recently, for anyone wanting to refinance their current mortgage, Fannie Mae, a government-sponsored enterprise that provides mortgage financing in the U.S., has a pilot program that waives lender title insurance requirements for certain rate term or cash-out refinance transactions. This is all part of the initiative announced by President Biden during his March 2024 State of the Union address to reduce closing costs and so-called junk fees, according to a HousingWire.com article posted on December 11, 2024. As a step towards more affordable homeownership, they believe this pilot program of eliminating the need for borrowers to repay title insurance will be helpful in anticipation of the amount of refis that could happen should mortgage interest rates take a significant dip in the coming months and years. In the past, borrowers would be required to repay for title insurance again when refinancing their home mortgage. At Sachs Realty, I realize that what I'm talking about may be a little confusing to anyone who has never bought a home or sold a home for that matter. I want to help you. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and you're looking for ways that you can cut costs, reach out to me anytime. Send me an email. And I also want to tell you, if you're in Maryland, we want to be your agent. At Sachs Realty, our agents are willing to negotiate, so ask questions about our fees, and let's get to know you and understand exactly what your needs are when it comes to buying or selling a home. So thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, you can let me know by hitting that thumbs up. And as I said before, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, consider doing so now. Hit that alert bell. You'll know every time we upload content like this. Keep those comments and questions coming. And if you know someone that could benefit from hearing this video, please give it a share. See you next time. Sachs Realty, Maryland broker number 607720, office number 443-318-4514, equal housing opportunity.